So, good evening, lovely yogis. Just beginning on your mat, relaxing, either seated or lying down, however you wish. And today you'll just need a yoga strap and a couple of blocks. We're going to do hammock later on and heart bench. But it's always handy to have other bits and bobs. I like a little cushion nearby as well. So just have a few moments to settling. Let your body kind of just soften from your day, whatever you've been up to. And notice how much tightness and tension you're holding in this moment. I think sometimes we can be very unconscious to how tightly wound we can be, even though we may feel relaxed. It does take some time to really let the body unwind. So as you lie here for a few moments, just notice from head down to toes where you might be holding tension. Perhaps it's the jaw or around the neck, shoulders or through the back of your body. Sometimes in the bigger joints like the hips and knees. Sometimes the chest can feel quite tight as well. So just explore and relax. Just notice your breath. And just enjoy following the breath for a few moments. The inhale, the exhale. Aware of any slight pauses between the breath. And also how your body softens and reacts to the breath. So if you're lying down, just have a moment to have a full body stretch and then hug your knees in gently. And if you're already seated, just maybe roll the shoulders or roll the head. Whatever feels nice, just bringing your awareness to your body, how you're feeling on all levels, physically, emotionally. And then when you're ready, if you're lying down, just gently roll up to a seated position. Come onto a meditation cushion if that is comfortable for you, or however you want to sit. For about 5 minutes. We'll take a nice quiet meditation. If you need a blanket over your knees or around your shoulders, you can use these things. So we'll just have some quiet meditation this evening. Earlier we had a real downpour of rain and thunder and lightning, and it seems to have stopped now, but it always fascinates me, that kind of weather. So we're just going to sit quietly with whatever we notice now, maybe kind of reflecting back on thunder and lightning, and maybe even remembering, if you haven't had it recently, what that feels like, what it brings to mind. Such a cleansing feeling. It sort of clears the air, doesn't it? And reminds us perhaps how small we are in nature. So let's just draw the hands to Dhyana Mudra. Let the eyelids close. Relax everything as much as you can. And we'll just follow our breath, noticing our thoughts. Noticing if you're feeling gratitude for the rain, all the things it does to enhance our lives. Just keep relaxing, looking through the body for any tension that's crept back in. Following your breath. Noticing your thoughts and just being very present. Where are your thoughts now? And just taking a few more breaths as we come back. How long did that feel? It's always about 5 minutes. Sometimes it might feel longer, sometimes it might feel quite short, like you've just sort of dropped into a nice meditation and then brought out of it. So we're going to start with a dragonfly. So a nice wide-legged posture. And if you have a blanket, it's always quite nice just to have sort of the edge of a blanket under sort of the edge of your buttocks. It has a feeling of just gradually tilting the pelvis forward a bit. You're not necessarily sitting on the whole blanket, sort of just the edge. So you can always try that. You don't have to. It's just another option. And then just let's gently leaning forward into this pose and seeing where it takes us. Trying to relax the feet and ankles and feeling the stretch, but allowing the body to soften gently into it. Relaxing your shoulders when you can. And focusing breath into the belly and into the chest. And every now and then when it feels like you've sort of softened into the pose, just explore a little bit more of a lean forwards and allow the stretch to be felt again. Where do you notice it most in your body today? And just enjoying the whole movement that you get with your breath. Just explore if there's a little bit more space to move into. Noticing how it feels between the left inner leg and the right inner leg, whether there's a difference. Staying with your breath. And then we'll just take one more breath, gently coming up. And then when you're ready, just lie down. Noticing whenever we come into these poses, whether your mind is busy or whether sort of towards the end of the pose, the fluctuations in your mind start to slow down. Just having that feeling of presence and noticing what the pose does for you, whether it quietens you, whether your mind is still busy in certain positions. And even as you relax in this shavasana, a nice neutral spine, aware of your thoughts. Relaxing the back. Deep breaths. So gently just bring the right knee into chest and then the left. And gently rocking. We're going to roll up and then come into seal. So with dragonfly we have sort of a forward folding position. And it's always nice to counterpose with a gentle back bend. I like to use either a little rolled blanket or a cushion under sort of the lower part of the chest. It just feels a bit more supportive, and then just coming into this lovely Sphinx-like pose. If you have a block, it can be used for your forehead. Just see how that feels. Take a nice sigh and then gently start to soften. Notice if your legs feel quite rigid, and as you relax them, the heels may roll to the centre a little bit. Starting to relax the muscles in the thighs. Gently the lower back will soften. And a nice pose to focus again on the breath. Check in to see if the buttocks feel a bit tense at times. And just relaxing. And where you can, just taking some deep breaths to the belly, feeling the lower back really open up. You might find the breaths become quite slow. How does this pose feel in your body tonight? Notice if your hands are relaxed and forearms and wrists. And so just noticing how you're feeling in a few more breaths. Whether the back has softened, become a bit more supple. And then we'll slowly come out. If you want to just pause back in a gentle child's pose on your way down to the mat, then that can be quite nice. Just feel into the back. If it feels a little bit tender, and then lie back. The lovely thing about yin is that you can take your time moving around the mat, moving from position to position. There's no rush, and it just gives you the opportunity to feel whatever you're going to feel. So lying back and again, just tune in what's going on. Give your tail a little wag if you need to, rock the pelvis just to ease out any sensations after the seal pose. And relax. What do you notice? What are you feeling energetically? And just feeling that any sensations that you did have probably fading a bit now. So if you want to bring your knees into chest, you can do. I think it always feels nice just to have a little rock and massage the back. But then we're going to bring the legs back down again for banana. So we'll start by taking the legs and feet to the lower right corner. Bring your right foot over your left if that's comfortable. Otherwise, you can quite easily just leave the legs uncrossed. But what I do find is that left leg wants to creep back to the centre. That's why it's quite handy to cross them. And then just gently move your upper body to the top right corner. But coming into this pose in whichever way supports you, because it does encourage a stretch through the left side, so stretch around the hips and the waist. It's lovely for your gallbladder though. So let's just relax here. Relax the shoulders. If you want to, take the arms overhead or cactus arms. But if you're feeling quite relaxed like me, I'm going to leave them by my side. Just gently breathing into your body and noticing where your breath moves. Relaxing the sides of your waist and the buttocks. And just as the body relaxes more and more, noticing the breath, whether your breath slows down, whether it deepens. In this position, we're stretching through the left side, which relates to Ida, the feminine aspect of ourselves. The part that's linked with coolness and passive and the moon. So keep looking through the body, anything that's tight again. Check in around the neck, shoulders. And then just taking one more breath here. We'll slowly move ourselves back into a neutral spine, just moving legs, centering the body. Just a few moments here just to feel wherever you feel, whether you're noticing any chi moving, perhaps on the inner legs, inner thighs. And then again, if you want to just draw these in, sometimes it is just nice to take a moment to reset. And then we'll return the legs back down to the mat as we come into the other side. So drawing the feet to the lower left corner, left foot over right if that's comfortable for you, and then upper body moving to the top left. Relaxing, just check in with the sides of the waist and pelvis area. And if you moved your arms for the other side, then just perhaps mirror what you did so it feels like an even, balanced pose. Relax your face, just close the eyes and just notice everything that's going on. When we close the eyes, when the eyes are closed, we experience pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. Tuning out of the outside world and tuning in more so to what's going on internally. Observing the mind, the breath and body, and just everything starting to connect. Noticing whether you're comfortable within your own thoughts, within your body. How does this compare with the other side of banana? Are they quite similar, or do you notice a real difference? So we'll just take a breath or two, taking in the last few moments of this sensation, and then coming back into the center, just gradually unfolding the legs and allowing your spine to reset. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? Can you feel chi in the thighs? And is it in one side more than the other now? So let's draw knees in. Have a lovely little rock. Massaging the back. Being grateful for all the bits that are moving. And then we'll roll up. We're going to come into heart bench now. But I always like to offer the alternative, the more gentle version of bench, which is lying back over a little cushion. Oops. If you're going to come into heart bench, 2 blocks, a top height for the head and one that is on the second height down at where you lie back over, and it aligns with the spine around the heart area. So when you're ready, just starting to hold on to that block behind you, just so that you can perhaps manoeuvre it a little as you lie down, and take your time just to find the perfect place for it. And then resting the back of the head on the upper block and relax. It always feels a bit strange to start with. You might have to move the block a few times behind your back, but you'll find a position where the whole body sort of just folds over it gently, creating an openness in the chest and heart. And as the name suggests, it's a little bench for your heart. So if you are comfortable here, you can close your eyes. Start to relax through the neck. The chin may just tilt down a little. And enjoying the breath, the fullness of breath from belly to chest up to the shoulders. And so noticing what feelings you're getting in this pose. This is a very heart-opening pose. And I often find myself that sort of feelings of kindness and an open feeling of gratitude often sort of just start to come out in this posture. A peacefulness, a calmness. If at any time you need to come out of a pose, you can do. Alter it, or just lying back in Shavasana earlier. It's your practice. Deep breaths. Noticing how you're feeling as the pose progresses. Is your mind busy, or are you focused in the moment? And so just take 2 or 3 more breaths here. And then as you come out of this pose, support your body first and then lift your head. Then move your body up and away from the blocks. Popping them aside so that you can come down still with those feelings and just noticing. Notice what's going on. I find it always a very strange feeling after heart bench, but also a very welcome feeling. It's a little bit like when you've had a sort of a deep massage in the back where you know you've needed it, and the after effects quite, I don't know, just a very welcome feeling afterwards. Like something's been freed up. So gently we'll bring these in. Right one, left one, and then gently rocking. Rolling in some circles. And then we're going to take our yoga strap for hammock, popping the strap around your right foot, lying back down again just to get into the position, and then raising the leg, bringing the strap behind the head. So I say the head, so it's the back of the base of the skull bone, which is where the strap rests, not round the neck. And then I like to take the left leg down to the mat, but if you wish, you can have it bent. Entirely up to you. And then we'll just gently relax into this lovely hammock pose. A lovely elevation for the legs, so a nice drain on fluids, helpful for the heart. And then once you're in this pose, you can gently push into the foot and feel a nice stretch to the neck, or the other way round, let the head become very heavy and you'll feel a bit more of a stretch through the back of the leg. And then just occasionally just finding that what you prefer, or just sort of hanging somewhere in between. But just noticing that you can affect the sensation gently by moving. And maybe again, as before, close the eyes. letting the head relax. Notice the breath, whether the breath feels shallow or deep, whether it's a bit tight in the belly. Where do you feel the stretch most here? Is it buttock area, the hamstring, perhaps the back of the knee, you're feeling it? And then if you want to, it's quite nice towards the end of this pose to unhook the strap and just have a few moments to move freely with your leg. Holding the strap, it's lovely and supportive. Nice to swing out to the side and feel a lovely stretch through your inner leg and thigh. Noticing whatever sensation you get if you bring the leg across the body, straightening your leg. Just what mobility you have. And then when you're ready, you can just gently lower your leg down, swap your feet over, but just have a few moments to observe the after effects of hammock on the right side. Relax. Where can you feel prana or energy, chi moving? And then when you're ready, with the foot round your left, with the strap round your left foot, I always try to take it around the ball of the foot and then popping it around the head, base of the skull, not the neck, and then just seeing how it feels this side. And as before, you've got the option of gently pushing into the foot or letting the head become heavy or just trying to relax somewhere in between. Relaxing the abdominal muscles if they do feel tight. And nice deep breaths to the belly. Now and then you can start to explore straightening the leg a bit more. Comparing how this side feels to the other side. Just every now and then, just check to see if you've become tense in your body or your right leg. And then when you're ready, only if you want to, you can unhook and just have a little bit of free movement with your left leg now, holding onto the strap. Just be curious and open. Does it feel the same with the similar movements to the other side, or is it very different? Do you have more flexibility or less? And then gently you can just start to lower the leg, unhook your foot and have a few moments. And then when you're ready, bringing knees in, have a little hug. So this evening we've come forward and stretched out the legs in dragonfly, a gentle back bend to counterpose in seal, and then a nice sort of side lateral stretch to the body with banana and a heart opener with heart bench. And it's always lovely to have a inversion of sorts, raising the legs with hammock. So time to relax now. Pulling over blankets, putting on warm clothing, whatever feels right, and then coming into whichever relaxing pose suits you. You can remain seated if you wish. Different times you'll be drawn to a different pose perhaps. It's always nice to have a blanket. I'm definitely a blanket person. Whether I need one for warmth or not, it's comforting. So I'm going to return to the theme that we started earlier of the rain, the thunder, how it feels with the excitement sometimes that you feel with thunder and lightning, especially if you're indoors and you can watch it safely from the comfort of your own home. How everything gets so wet. And then after it's passed, all the little raindrops that you get on your windows and windowsills. And perhaps there's a sort of an energetic feeling of cleansing, of clearing. So just sit with those feelings again. The water has nourished the earth, cooled it down from perhaps some heated scenarios that we've had, whether it's that symbolic of heated parts of the earth, heated situations between countries, people. Sometimes it's just nice to think about nature just cooling stuff down. So gently now, just bringing yourself back. Wherever your mind wandered off to, perhaps dozed a little. Take a few moments to take some deep breaths. And a nice long sigh. Whenever you do that, your shoulders might relax a little bit more. And then if you're lying down, just start to wiggle fingers and toes. If you're seated already, then you can move the neck, roll the shoulders, just round the back, little Gentle cat-cow. And then hugging knees in if you're lying down. Notice your body from the start of your practice to now, whether something feels a little bit more alleviated or freed up a bit. Perhaps physically you don't notice too much, but mentally or emotionally there's a little bit of a shift that goes on with your practice. I always feel better after I come off my mat than perhaps when I've come onto the mat, even if I'm feeling okay even then. So rolling up to seated. And just gently taking a moment, there's no rush, just have a moment to mentally ground down. Roots from the tailbone. And then we can bring hands to our heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.